This tutorial reviews 6 concepts from the branch of mathematics called statistics. Statistics deals with data. More often than not, we'll be dealing with data that are numbers. So we'll be looking at lists of numbers, and we'll be finding the minimum, maximum, and range. Those 3 concepts go together. And then we'll also look at how to find the mean, median, and mode of a data set. Those 3 concepts go together as well. So suppose you had the following data set. Suppose these were the scores that 8 students received on a certain math test. Well, in order to describe the data set, one thing that you might want to know is, well, what was the lowest score in the class? And the precise math term for that is the minimum, which I'll abbreviate the min. So you just scan the numbers for the smallest one. Well, the minimum of this data set is 65. That was the lowest score. Similarly, to find the maximum, which I'll abbreviate max, you scan the numbers and look for the largest one, which in this case is 96. Someone also might want to know how spread out were the scores. How far was it from one end to the other? So to find the range, we call that, we do the maximum minus the minimum. Or in this case, 96 minus 65, or 31. So the range of the data set is 31, which means the distance from the lowest score to the highest score was 31. So that's minimum, maximum, and range. Now we're going to look at mean, median, and mode. These 3 concepts are all considered measures of central tendency, which is a fancy way of saying each one of them is a way of summarizing the data set with one number that is somehow central to the set. The quickest and easiest to find for this data set would probably be the mode. Mode means the data point that occurs most frequently. In this particular example, well, let's scan the numbers for any repeats. And looking over the 8 numbers, you'll notice that 88 shows up twice. It's the only repeated value. So the mode of this data set is 88. Please note that some data sets have no mode. If each number was only there once, there'd be no mode. On the other hand, some sets might be bimodal. Maybe there's 2 numbers that each show up, say, 3 times, and everything else occurs only once. Then both of those numbers would be a mode, and the data set would be bimodal. Okay, let's next look at median. Median means the number that's right smack dab in the middle if you list them in order from least to greatest. So let's put the smallest number first and then list them in order. So 65, 70, 73, 76, 82, 88, 88, and 96. Okay, so just looking over the numbers, making sure they really are in order, and then I'd like to find the number in the middle. Now, this particular data set has an even number of data points, which means you can't find one number in the middle. There's actually 2. See, there's 3 numbers below it, 3 numbers above it, right in the middle. In this case, you have to average these 2 numbers. You have to find what's right in between them, which you can do by adding them together and dividing by 2. Or let's see, 6 and 2 is 8, 7 and 8 is 15. 158 divided by 2 would be 79. Yeah, so the median is 79. Again, if we had had an odd number of data points, there would have been just one number in the middle, and it would have been just a matter of finding it. Okay, so mode occurs most frequently, median, the one right in the middle, and mean is what we often just call the average. And in order to find the mean, what you do is you take the set of numbers, so let's actually group them all together here. So we're going to take the whole set, and then here's what you do to find the mean. You add up all the numbers. So let's see, 96 plus 88 plus 73, 65, 82, and so on. And then you divide them by how many numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you divide the sum by 8, and that would give you the mean. Notice that up here, when we were finding the median, and there were two numbers in the middle, we essentially found the mean of those two numbers in order to find what was right in the middle of them. I'll leave it to you if you're interested to actually add up these numbers and divide by 8. That would be a good example of a place where using a calculator would be the best strategy. Okay, so mean, add them all up, divide by how many there are, usually just called the average. Okay, so your homework, I'd like you to read through sections 1.1 and 1.2, and then there's 3 problems from 1.1 and 1 from 1.2. If you need more time to copy those down, please pause the video.